Maybe. If you want me to go out, you can just call me here. Is it because of films like The Fast and the Furious? You know, people have massive crashes and just dust themselves off, walk out of cars. Do young people not appreciate that driving a car fast and crashing it will kill you? It'll break your heart, literally. Then we need to put into the mix the issues of drink and drugs. You've all got handouts on your tables. I urge you to read them about drink and drugs. 1 in 6 people killed on the roads have drink or drugs in the system. Mainly young people at that. Being a traffic cop, drinking and drug taking and driving to us is despicable. But not as despicable as failing to stop after a crash. We as cops see the damage, we see the hurt, we feel the pain. Following the introduction of new drug driving laws in March and the introduction of new drug screening devices, we've been able to paint a better picture of what's happening. The majority of people caught drug driving between 17 and 24. Most of them have taken cannabis. Lots are over the limit on drink and drugs as well at the same time. Impairment can be an issue in lots of cases of dangerous driving, or in most, I would suggest. Unfortunately, if you take a careful look at South Yorkshire Police's website when it refers to drug driving, some of the responses are appalling, particularly from young people. I think that we have to look at general attitudes. There were around 40 fatal road traffic collisions last year in this county, with over 500 life-threatening and serious being recorded. If the same number of murders and life-threatening assaults were recorded in the same period, there'd be an uproar. So what's the difference? I can't see it.
Well said.
It always infuriates me that the general public seem to put little importance on road death, unless they have some connection to it. The courts give out pitiful sentences, as we know. And no one really bats an eyelid. That's unless you happen to be affected by it. Without getting political or bitter about it all, due to cuts, some police forces have lost their specialist roads policing departments. The investigators then force us to keep their roads safer. This week, every officer in South Yorkshire Roads Policing, including myself, had to reapply for his own jobs to remain in the traffic department. We had to lose more officers yet again. Once we're gone, there's no going back. I'll let you form your own opinions as to whether this decision will improve road safety or not. Contrary to popular belief, police officers don't issue tickets to motorists because we're looking for promotion, raising money for the police ball, or because we've been bullied at school. And yes, we do have something better to do. We do it because we actually care. No one sees police officers weep at scenes of accidents. We, as you do, have to rely on our wonderful families who support us through our darkest times when we have to bring things home that we shouldn't actually have to see. Not many people have felt the knot in your stomach or taken that moment to pause before the knock. The knock that means you're going to pour instant, immeasurable grief on someone's family. So, I'll move on before I bore you all to death. The reason I'm here tonight is that I was appointed as family liaison officer to Danny and her family. FLOs, or family liaison officers, are volunteers. Not many cops want to do this job because of its nature. I make no bones about it, we're only deployed following a road death or when someone is not expected to survive their horrific injuries. I remember meeting Paul and Michelle and Yaz, along with other family and friends in the relatives' room on the morning after the collision. I remember the looks in their eyes, the tears, the absolute desperation in their voices. But underneath it all, I could see that the hope and drive in them. I could feel their love for their child who was so gravely ill. I remember seeing Danny that day and dreaded the thought of what I would have to do should the worst happen. I remember the same afternoon having to deal with the driver involved in Danny's collision. We say collision and not accident, Danny, don't we? Because an accident suggests no one's to blame. A collision doesn't. Michelle and I had an emotional phone call after that, and the journey began. Then Danny began to recover. She exceeded the goals. Whenever I saw her, she was drastically improved, and I was in awe of her progress. All the time, Paul, Michelle and the family were in the forefront, encouraging, comforting, consoling and caring for Danny. Sometimes Paul had to take a couple of left hooks, but I'm sure he didn't mind. Then came the court case, and as Ed said when it first started to Paul and Michelle, it was a long journey. Danny was a star when she was in the courtroom. I never heard her swear once, but I don't think I was supposed to.
You weren't listening.
From all these laughs, you know she swears.
The sentence made me swear though, but no one heard me. So we move on. I followed the blog and loved it, Michelle. I still love looking at the entries. I don't visit Danny as much as I should. But that's for a reason, because every time I see her she's improved so much, it's just awe-inspiring. Danny's progress and recovery has been phenomenal, and that's down to the support and love from her family. It's down to the community who've supported her throughout this, and all you sat in this room who've taken the time to raise money, donate gifts, and just be there. You all make a cynical cop have a restored faith in human nature. Finally, thank God I hear you say, Danny, for someone who was so close to death, you're so full of life. Throughout your recovery, I've been humbled by your personal drive. I've also been encouraged by your determination and inner strength. Your sense of humour and laugh is infectious, and it's an honour to know you, indeed.